When I decided to start the school, in fact, it wasn't really a decision, let me say. It was really to investigate, get the needed information before I'll take the decision to start the school. The first thing I did was to invite a favorite teacher of one of my daughters. So when he came around, the center of discussion was around asking him how the world of private schools are. So I gave him a set of questions to research on, some of which he already knew by hand, but some of them he had to go actually, because he wasn't the school owner, so he had to go around to ask. I really needed a very detailed answer, and then I made him to understand that the answers he was going to provide for me will really do the trick as to whether I really start the school or not. Among the questions I sought answers for were, the first major one was whether running a private school was really profitable. The second one was what it would take, what resources it would take to open a private school. Additionally, what will make our school unique, how I'll register, then what really were the very key tips I'll need to have before I can run a school successfully. I also made him to understand that I didn't know anything about private school apart from having my children there. In addition, I didn't go to do any education programs in my college and university education. For that matter, I knew next to nothing. He actually asked me to give him some time for him to do the investigation of some of the questions. So when he went away, I sent him additional questions like,
how difficult will it be to obtain a license to operate as a school? How much financing is needed? What is the market demand for a school? If our proposed location is Signarig, Kukwo, is there need for another school in the locality?
And a whole lot of other questions which he went and really did a very, very good work in. So when he returned and gave me the responses, the first one obviously I wanted to hear was whether it was profitable to run a school. He answered yes, that it was really profitable to run a private school if only it is run professionally and run very well. Then what it took to start a private school really he mentioned was, according to his research, it is about commitment, the passion to run the school successfully, and then also supervision, availability of the owners or his delegates to supervise the school very, very well, and then paying of teachers very promptly. He mentioned that it doesn't really matter if the amount of money you paid your teachers was so much, but then it came down to whether you pay them early and then you pay them at the right time. In fact, this also was corroborated by a number of guys I also asked, so that I'll use their responses to just oppose it with the one that Mr. Ibrahim Shaibu was really providing for me. So they too mentioned that paying teachers timeously was very, very important, because in the private school setting, the work really is tedious, and if a teacher is assured that at the end of the month, if you agree to pay the person, say 100 Ghana cedis or $100, and the money is made available almost at the time the month is ending, then the person will feel satisfied, at least I'm working. Additionally, another trick was if the school teaches very well. And teaching very well is relative, because when you begin a school, you wouldn't know whether a parent or prospective parents wouldn't know whether the school is doing well or not. So it is only after some years that parents will have an inkling as to whether the school teaches well or not. So with that one, I really didn't have much to say than to just keep it in mind that, well, this is what we will need to do, make our children perform well over the years, so that parents will know that we are doing very well. What else were we to do? Infrastructure. Fortunately, with the kind of infrastructure we have, we will say that eventually, if we start with the same structure, we will be among the very few schools who have started with concrete blocks, roofed, tiled, and with a very nice compound to start as a private school. There are other schools that have started similarly, but then with the kind of environment we have and then the location of it, we will say that we will start with a heads up if the structure, this particular structure, is used to start the school. Then what really made me to decide to start the school? Well, I am a professional coach, a certified professional coach, and in fact, coaching adults to remove limiting mindsets, to move away from what they have been inclined to, what they have been socialized into from childhood, and look at the future, look at their current status, to make very huge impacts in terms of success in whatever they are doing. It's really not that easy. But we succeed in helping adults in any way. However, with children, then it should be rather easier to coach children at that younger age to have self-esteem, coach children in that younger age to believe in themselves, know that even the sky is their stepping stone, and a whole lot to get them to believe in themselves at that younger age was going to really be a very important input into their development. At the end of the day, do you churn out children or graduates only by virtue of what they are able to write and pass? Certainly no. So what really was a deciding factor was the fact that I was very much interested in bringing in ideas in my coaching that will help these children to have self-esteem, that will help these children to believe in themselves, that will help these children to know that they are the best and they can conquer anything at all they decide to aim at. So for this reason, I decided to give this a shot. It wasn't an easy decision because even the facility that I'm talking about, it was rented out to the municipal assembly and they were paying for it. So to decide to use it for a school, comparing how much they were paying and how much the school would turn out, well, it was an economic reason at a point, but I had to still sack them and to use it for a school, even though I knew that from the onset I wasn't going to make any money at the beginning. So having said all of this, in January of 2020, after making all the consultations with various friends and Mr. Ibrahim Shaibu that I mentioned, and also doing some research online, I noticed that in various countries, running private schools in other countries doesn't really bring in money. So for Ghana in particular, like I did mention, the policy of government allows for private participation in many things, so including running of schools. So deciding to enter into it had various reasons, but the one that really did a kill was the fact that I was convinced by my research and other consultations that you would make some money when you run private school if only you run it very well. In addition, I have a very soft spot for children, and having the opportunity to work with them, especially to coach them intrinsically, to coach them in a way to at least grow up and become different from the kind of environment we grew in, and the kind of mindset we eventually socialized into, was really something that was so exciting to me. If you had a different reason in starting your school, or you are still doubting, or you are still trying to find out whether you should start a school, perhaps subscribe to this channel. And if you have any questions, this video is short that I may not have been able to cover so many other things. For that matter, if you have any questions, just feel free and ask me. I will avail myself time to answer. And the reasons why I started, some of the things that I needed to have done, perhaps I may have done or may not have done them. And well, I wish you good luck in your decision to start or not to start. Thank you so much for watching. See you in our next video.